Big Z Reviews. Presence is a new psychological drama, like a ghost film without any real horror, but is from Steven Soderbergh. But it is a really interesting and experimental film that I really enjoyed. It was a very interesting take on like a ghost haunting film.
And you can't get out. You wonder where they are. And you wonder what it would be like if you were there too.
So when I was thinking about what films to compare Presence to, the only thing that really came to mind was those horror films and mysteries where like the viewer is the computer screen. Like I said, it's like missing, and like the one that like John Cho, where his daughter went missing and he's trying to find her, and the other one where her mom went missing and she's trying to find her, and like I know there's some horror films too from the same company that like making a film from like the computer screen and like the video calls, and I feel like that's the closest thing to this film. But it is really interesting, like, and Soderbergh, he loves doing his like special iPhone camera rigs with like lenses and a bunch of lights and stuff. But he's the cameraman and he does everything. And it's really interesting because like the viewer, you are the presence, the ghost that is in this house. And like from the beginning, you see Lucy Liu and her husband Chris Sullivan like coming to look at this house and with a realtor and buying it. Then you see like their two kids, Kalina Leong and Eddie Madej, come in and like pick up the room. And immediately you see Kalina as Chloe kind of look at the closet where the camera is, and that's always kind of like a little like shivery when like a character like notices the presence or feels something like someone's watching them and like looks at the camera. It's always like, ooh, give me a little shivers now talking about it. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if it's tough for these actors because usually you're not supposed to break the fourth wall and look into the camera, but at certain times they had to, like when they what, or like they're noticing something, and it's and like, and you see I love too like it feels like you're in first person view sometimes because when they do see you, you see the camera like stop and go backwards, like they're like, oh shit, can they see me? And it's really cool. Although it is funny, I will say this ghost really loves to do sweeping, spinning establishment shots of everything that's going on in the house, you know. But it's kind of like, okay, you have to stretch your imagination a little. And I think too that because like so many of this movie is it's very just like you feel like you're experiencing this family, like moments of this family's life. Like it's very naturalistic. So sometimes like there are very long one takes, but sometimes the acting falls behind a little, and like it's kind of like, okay, there's a 10-minute one take, or I don't know, I'm not sure how long they are, but like there's a very long one take, and the actor kind of is a little goofy towards the end of it. They're like, "Do you want to do that again?" I'm like, "No, you're good. We only have like a couple weeks to film this, you know." But like overall, I didn't hate any of the acting, and it was kind of interesting because you have two main stories. Like the A story is Chloe and Tyler, like their relationship, or brother and sister, and then this new guy coming into the life, West Holland as Ryan. He is a friend of Tyler, but then he's kind of becomes like the boyfriend to Chloe, and there's some stuff going on there. And it's also Chloe is dealing with the death of her best friend from like from fentanyl overdose or some sort of drug overdose where she stopped breathing. So she thinks that this presence is her best friend, and that like at first it's just like she feels something, but then it starts being a little poltergeisty and starts moving stuff around, and it's very cool. But I think the B story then is Lucy Liu with Rebecca and Chris Sullivan's Chris. Like they're having some relationship strife, because of this new move, and they're worried about their daughter who's really depressed after losing her friend, and Lucy Liu really wants to try to get her son is like to be a good swimming times or something. But then there's also like this strife where she is doing some illegal shit in her job, and like Chris is like trying to figure out if like he should support her, if he should like divorce her so he doesn't go down with her. And like that stuff, like I was really interested in that the secondary story, but like that kind of gets dropped off like towards like the second half of the film, or like the second 2/3. And like this movie is short. It's like under an hour and a half, and it's nice, it's tight, but at the same time it's like you could have given me another scene or two where we look more at what's happening with the parents. I really would have loved that. But at the same time, like I appreciate a tight movie. And I think that this movie will be great to watch again because like what you've revealed at the end, I'm not going to spoil it, but I think that it will make for an interesting viewing when you know everything beforehand. I think it'll be interesting to see like if your view of the film changes and what happens. But I think that because it's short and because of the one takes, again, the one takes it can be the detriment to the film with the acting. And this isn't like a film like Birdman where like the one take gets so stressful, and but like the pace of it gets your heart going. Like this is not that. It's very naturalistic. And I think that it would have worked almost better if the presence was having trouble focusing on this world. Like they're not in this world, so they're kind of like when something's happening, they focus on it, and then when their mind starts to drift, their soul starts to drift. Like they lose time and they come back in, and that would be the perfect place to put a cut and to do multiple takes if the acting wasn't good in the previous one. And also too, you could do more scenes. I feel like and give it a tiny bit more of a runtime to actually fully develop the B storyline, and maybe give a little bit more more time just with the family. Like I would have liked to know more about them. But what it did, I mean, with the whole haunting, and with I think Kalia Long is very good, and it's very interesting what happened. It's really like the climax of the film is really enthralling, and also too, I love that when stuff starts getting poltergeisty, like they don't like at first when she mentioned like she feels like someone's watching her. They're just like whatever. But when stuff starts getting poltergeisty, it's like okay, yeah, we got a ghost. And they don't. I like that they support each other then, and they try to get someone in like a psychic, and I like too that they play with is the psychic real or is the psychic just like wanting money. There's some interesting stuff here. I enjoyed it a lot. I would definitely recommend it. Although, like, it's not a film I feel like you have to see in theaters. I think it'll be just as great seeing it at home. And it's probably not long for the theaters anyways. I'm getting to this review like a week later. But I would definitely recommend it. I'd probably give like an 8.75 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.